Right. So I guess to the point of funding, in my research, I think according to the Tarrant Regional Water Board, their 2024 flood state uh, risk assessment, which was
Hmm.
the very first state flood plan ever, they
Wow.
Mm.
discovered that there basically needs to be $54 billion invested to get Texas like basically up to speed to fix all of their flood infrastructure. And right now there's only been $1.5 billion appropriated to.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Um so I think there just needs to be more awareness of this, because I think what a lot of people don't realize is that essentially everyone lives in a flood zone, even if you don't realize it, or even if you're in a county where you're not immediately next to a river.
Hmm.
But since I forget which year, but basically, according to the American Engineering report card for Texas, there has been essentially a flood emergency, I guess, alert for every single county in Texas. So
Mm.
essentially, this is not just a problem for people who live right next to a river or on a coastal area.
Yeah.
Um, Everybody is affected. And to, you know, communities, again, everyone is connected, and so it's really interesting how these systems interact. Like, you can't just say, oh, we can fix like the flood infrastructure. It's flood infrastructure, it's drinking water, it's wastewater, it's sewage. Because interestingly, I'm sorry for you people in Houston, like the water that is treated, the wastewater that is treated from the Trinity River is
Mm.
essentially like flows into the Trinity River, which then flows, down to Houston. So you can't just, localize something and say, okay, this county, you're on your own. Like, it truly does need to be like a state, effort level.
To kind of add is that, and you brought up the point. So as a person who is I guess reflect. So as a person who's not from Texas, I had no concept of or understanding like how Central Texas dealt with flooding in general. You moved to San Antonio, and it was just my first time ever living in Texas, and I moved to Austin later on. But in San Antonio specifically, even the slightest bit of rain just causes so much damage in so many parts of the city, and it's not something that you would think of living in San Antonio. And having to explain that to friends and family that are outside of Texas, you're like, yeah,
Hmm.
there's a thunderstorm. Half the city is underwater, and there's an issue. And then I remember, I think it was 2018, 2019, we had like a band of a hurricane kind of appear over San Antonio, and that caused so much, uh, just so much damage in itself. And then to highlight what you said earlier, there are a lot of people moving to Texas. I mean, Texas is a destination. The Central Texas region, out down I-35, so many people are moving there. However, the people who are moving here maybe or maybe not know. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not a concern of like, oh, I'm moving to a flood zone, because I guess as most people treat disasters is like, oh, that's never going to happen to me, until it definitely does. And now combining that with the fact that there's a need of $54 billion in order to mitigate some of these problems, but we don't really have that many. Like, what is, like, for people who are moving to Texas in the Central Texas region, what would you hope that they understand before they move down here? It's like, or what are some things they may be able to do?